Hello. Welcome to the Fabrico.Design channel. We develop professional sewing patterns and make them available to every woman. Using our patterns and video instructions, you can easily sew any garment at home and feel like a designer.
And today we are going to sew a blouse Obsidian. This fitted blouse features buttons on the front, a turn-down collar with a stand, and long sleeves with decorative cuffs. The collar, plackets, and cuffs are made of decorative material. For sewing the garment, you will need the patterns, main fabric organza, decorative fabric, shirting or blouse fabrics, interfacing, matching thread, small buttons, and sewing supplies. Note that the fabric is thin and delicate, so use needles number 70 to 75. As usual, you can download the PDF pattern of this garment below the video in the description box. Let's get cutting. It's highly important to decate the fabric before cutting to prevent it from shrinking during sewing if you chose the fabric that can shrink. We chose organza fabric, which does not need to be decated. That's why we'll omit this stage. We lay out the patterns on the fabric observing directions of the grain line. It is indicated on the patterns. Important: organza is slick and loose material, so we mark all the notches using chalk. After cutting, double-check the number of pieces according to the pattern pieces list, and do not forget to interface the pieces as indicated on the patterns. You need to have these pieces: 2 front pieces, back piece, the sleeve. These pieces are from organza. We also have pieces from decorative fabric, 2 plackets, top and under collar, top and under cuff, 2 pieces of sleeve placket, sleeve cut tape pieces. We cut those pieces from shirting fabric. We chose organza as the main fabric. You can also use chiffon, satin, or silk. We chose cotton shirting fabric as the decorative fabric. The blouse is from organza fabric. Organza is slick and loose material, so we need to stitch shoulder, side seams, and sleeve seams, and also insert the sleeve using the French seam. This will prevent the material from fraying and make the seams more elegant. Right now, I'll show you how to make it. Sew the pieces wrong sides together. Right side, right side. We recommend not to pin the pieces because needles leave punctures. It is better to use clothespins. Stitch at 0.5 centimeter. Right side, wrong side. Turn inside out so that the seam is inside. Stitch at 0.7 centimeter. This is what we get. Wrong side. Right side. Now press the allowances. Top stitch from the stitching seam at 0.5 centimeter. The French seam is ready. If you sew from opaque and easy to sew from material, for example, from shirting fabric, you can use the regular plain seam with overcasting. We'll start with the front. Press the placket lengthwise and in half with the wrong side facing down. Press one longitudinal cut at 1 centimeter to the wrong side. Place the placket with the unpressed part to the wrong side of the front, along the side line and stitch. Press the allowances onto the strip. Fold the placket over to the right side of the front and top stitch the pressed seam allowance. Trying to follow the previous stitch, press the finished placket. Using the pattern, mark and stitch the bust darts, starting from the notches and ending at the base of the corner. Press the allowances down. Note that we do not do tacks on organza, so leave the ends of the thread to tie knots and hide the thread into the darts afterwards. Take a needle, thread the ends of the thread through the eye, and hide the thread in the dart. Now, the assembling. Sew the shoulder and side seams of the front and back with a French seam. First place the front on the back with the wrong side inside and stitch at 0.5 centimeter. Next, stitch along the wrong side so that the allowances are found inside. Press the allowances to the back and top stitch at 0.5 centimeter from the stitching seam. Press. Hem bottom of the blouse and the cut. Press the seam allowance to the wrong side. Top stitch at 0.5 centimeter along the bottom edge of the allowance. Press. Let's sew the collar. Place the under collar on the top collar and stitch along the short sides and the collar line. Cut out the corners. Turn them right side out. Press. Top stitch along the collar at 0.1 centimeter from the edge. Stitch the bottom edges of the collars. Place the collar between the stand-up pieces so that the stand-up piece with the pressed allowance placed right sides together with the under collar. Stitch the stands, cut out the allowances and turn them right side out. Press. Pin and sew the under non-pressed stand into the neck cut from the wrong side of the blouse. Press the allowance towards the stand. Pin and top stitch the pressed allowance of the second stand from the front side at 0.1 centimeter from the edge, continuing this line along the entire perimeter of the stand. Press. Making the sleeve. Mark a cut line on the sleeve on the wrong side, according to the markings on the patterns. Press the sleeve plackets in half and the long edge with a corner. Press the sleeve cut tape in half with the wrong side facing inward and one long edge towards the fold. Pin the sleeve cut tape to the marking line on the side that is the shortest distance from the cut. Pin the sleeve cut placket to the second side of the marking. Stitch along both pieces at 1 centimeter from the cuts. The stitching lines should be strictly parallel to the pieces. Cut along the marked line, leaving 1.5 centimeter before the end of the stitches, then cut at the corner. Fold the sleeve cut tape to the front side so that the allowances are inside. Stitch along the placket at 0.1 centimeter from the edge, following the stitching seam. Sew the sleeve with a French seam. Fold the allowances inside out. Stitch at 0.5 centimeter. Turn the seam inside out so that the allowances remain inside. Stitch at 0.7 centimeter. Press the allowances, top stitch on the back at 0.5 centimeter. Press one longitudinal upper edge of 2 cuff pieces with interfacing. Place the upper with interfacing and lower cuffs right sides together and stitch along the sides and bottom. Cut out the curves and turn them right side out. Press. Place the upper and lower cuffs right sides together. Stitch at 1 centimeter. Then cut out the allowances. Turn out and press. Place the right side of the cuff with the wrong side of the sleeve. Stitch at 1 centimeter, press the allowances onto the cuff. Place the pressed side of the cuff to the seam and stitch at 0.1 centimeter, continuing the stitching along the entire perimeter of the cuff. Press Sew the sleeve into the blouse. We will use the French seam, the one we used for sewing the side, shoulder, and sleeve seams. To do this, turn the sleeve inside out. Wrong sides together. Sew in, not missing the control marks. Stitch at 0.5 centimeter. This is the way the sleeve should look. Turn the sleeve inside out. From the wrong side, stitch at 0.7 centimeter along the entire perimeter. Insert the sleeve with the French seam into the garment. To do this, it is necessary to turn the sleeve inside out. From the wrong side of the side seam, place the side seam and pin along the allowances. Be sure to stick to the control marks to avoid shifting the planting. This way we pin the lower part up to the control marks. Then turn over and align the control marks. Turning inside out, we tighten the armhole using needles. Stitch at 0.5 centimeter. This is the way it looks. Turn out and stitch at 0.7 centimeter from the wrong side. This is what we get. View from the right side. View from the wrong side. Press the seam onto the back. Secure the cuts at 0.5 centimeter. Mark the location of the buttonholes on the right placket and stand, and on the sleeve placket. Make buttonholes and sew on the buttons. Give the blouse a final press.
Thanks for sewing with us. Subscribe to our channel and publish your photos in different social medias and tag us. You can find the link to our website in the description box below the video.